He walked into the bank like any other day, confident, successful, and ready to handle his business. But within minutes, the room shifted, whispers, stares, and then the words that would ignite a storm. "We can't serve you here." They didn't know who he was. They didn't know what he was capable of, but they were about to find out. This wasn't just about a bank. This was about dignity, power, and a revenge no one saw coming. What happened next? It shook the entire city. Marcus Bennett was not just any man. At 42, he was the CEO of one of the fastest-growing tech firms in the country. His days were filled with board meetings, investment calls, and charity work, but he never forgot his roots. Raised in a working-class neighborhood, Marcus knew the value of hard work and persistence. That Thursday afternoon, he had just finished a major investor meeting downtown. He decided to stop by the local branch of a bank where he held significant accounts. It wasn't a planned visit, just a quick stop to sign documents for a new investment project. The bank was small, with polished marble floors and walls lined with framed photos of smiling executives. As Marcus stepped in, he was greeted not with warmth but with sideways glances. A teller at the far end looked up, then looked away. He waited patiently in line, briefcase in hand, scrolling through emails. When it was his turn, he approached the counter, introduced himself, and requested the transaction. The teller's smile was tight, forced. "I'm sorry, sir. I don't think we can process this for you." Marcus was taken aback. He calmly explained his account details, his standing with the bank, but her tone only hardened. "It's not about your account, sir. We just can't serve you here." The words echoed in his mind. He had faced racism before, but in this moment, standing in a place where his money should have spoken louder than his skin color, it cut deeper. Marcus left the counter without a scene, but his mind was racing. Outside, he sat in his car, the afternoon sun glaring through the windshield. He replayed every second in his head, the way the teller's eyes had darted to the manager, the way their hushed voices carried just enough for him to catch phrases like, "not here," and "let him go." This wasn't about banking policy. This was about him. He opened his laptop right there in the parking lot and began pulling up information on the branch, its ownership, financial standing, and corporate structure. Marcus had built his career on solving problems quickly, but this was personal. He called his assistant. "I need you to set up a meeting with the regional bank director today." By the time the meeting was confirmed, he had gathered enough data to know the branch was struggling. Profits were down, management turnover was high, and most importantly, it was for sale. That evening, Marcus walked into the bank's regional headquarters. The director, a man in his 50s with a rehearsed corporate smile, greeted him like a valuable client, clearly unaware of what had happened earlier that day. "I hear one of your branches is up for sale," Marcus began. "I'm interested in buying it." The director hesitated, surprised by the directness. They discussed terms, numbers, logistics. Marcus didn't flinch at the asking price. He signed the initial paperwork that night. 2 weeks later, the branch. Employees arrived to find new signage being installed. Word spread fast, customers buzzing about the new ownership, and when Marcus walked through those glass doors again, heads turned. This time it wasn't with disdain, it was with shock. The teller who had refused him service stood frozen, eyes wide, as he calmly greeted her and walked past, straight into the manager's office. The staff meeting that morning was tense. Marcus sat at the head of the table, not as a client, but as their new boss. "I wanted to start by saying," he began slowly, "that this branch is important to me, but respect, mutual respect, will be the foundation here." His gaze swept the room until it landed on the teller. She shifted uncomfortably. "I was refused service here 2 weeks ago, not because of my account, not because of any banking issue, but because of who I am." The silence was heavy. "That ends today." He laid out new policies, diversity training, zero tolerance for discrimination, and a commitment to serve every customer equally. For Marcus, the acquisition wasn't about profit. It was about sending a message that no one should have the power to strip someone of their dignity based on prejudice. As the meeting ended, he stood by the door, greeting each employee personally. When the teller approached, she couldn't meet his eyes. He simply said, "I hope you treat the next person better than you treated me." And with that, she walked away, her silence louder than any apology. Over the next months, the branch transformed. Customer satisfaction soared. The community, once skeptical, now saw the bank as a place where everyone was welcome. Marcus knew he couldn't erase what happened that day, but he could make sure it never happened there again. The story spread far beyond the city. News outlets picked it up. Social media praised him as a man who turned humiliation into empowerment. For Marcus, the victory wasn't in owning the bank. It was in reclaiming the narrative. He had walked in as a customer and been treated like he didn't belong. Now, he was the one making the rules. And while his move was celebrated, it was also a reminder. Injustice doesn't just live in history books. It's in the quiet moments, the subtle dismissals, the casual prejudices. But it can be challenged. It can be changed. The question is, how many more will stand up and turn their own moment of injustice into a legacy of change?